So, this is Steve Rude. You're in my studio, just like you were yesterday. This is going to be part 2 of our live stream. Some of you were tuned in yesterday for the live stream. And today, as well, is going to be another live stream. Most of the people that are going to be watching this are going to be seeing this after the fact, which you can see on YouTube after it's posted. So let's carry on where we left off yesterday. Let's start over at the animation desk here, and I'll show you what I got done. Some of you might remember this layout here from the Pending and Nexus animated cartoon show. This is where we had Nexus, and I remember telling you that I needed to do some close-ups. So the way the show works, you would have the long shot, or the master shot as they call it, live action, and then you would cut to a close-up. So I just Xeroxed this, blew it up to the appropriate size, and Nexus is going to be not just standing there, he's got to be doing something. So we're going to have head turns. This, in fact, is the only thing that's going to move in this layout right here. So if you see it on the show, you'll see his head move like that. So I just got 2 head movements there, like this, and then it goes back to this. So it works like this, this, and then back to this. For Sandra, she was right behind Nexus in this, and I blew this up again for the close-up version. And I'm just going to have her doing 1 head turn, so it's going to work like that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. So, moving along, let's move back to my regular area. Good news, I lost a pound since yesterday. Okay, Floey, come on over here. Most of you know, by way of famous magazine articles on the humble dude here, that I am in fact in possession of 2 blowhards. This one is Chloe. She is, well, guess what she is? What kind of blowhard is Chloe here? Tell Daddy what kind of blowhard you are. What's that? Are you going to grunt or tell me? Okay, she's going to stay silent for now, but write in with your answers to tell me what kind of a dog Chloe is here, okay? We've had Chloe for a good 6 years. We got her from the rescue area. Everything in Arizona where I lived is full of rescue animals. Everything from pigs to parrots and ferrets. They're everywhere. So Chloe is our buddy here. Everyone in the family loves her, especially the sillies. All right, Flowhard, we'll see you later. So as you recall, we were working on this yesterday, this massive 3-foot by 2-foot poster that I'm doing on my own. It's a version of a Birdman cover that I did for Future Quest about a year ago for DC Comics. And I have made some headway, and the headway is as follows. I did this, I rendered this right here. I did this area right here. I obliterated the rock ape from the Herculoid's head, which I'm going to have to recover at some point because I don't want it to be completely obscured because it looks pretty goofy, doesn't it? Shazam is done. You can see how I rendered that. And I also am setting the stage for this Mitor and Tog. Remember, these are all Hanna-Barbera cartoon shows from the 60s that I grew up with. So obviously I was like 9 or 10 when they came out. So those were very important years of my life. And actually went on to determine what I would do for the rest of my life. They still influence everything that I do as an artist in comic books or illustration. And I darken in the rhinoceros Tundro from the Herculoids and Zoc.
Someone was asking if the dog is a beagle.
We just got a question in. Apparently we're able to field questions from the people watching at this moment. And yes, in fact, the person that wrote it said, that's a beagle? And yeah, he's right. He's actually a half beagle. Chloe, she is actually a half beagle. She's half, well, I'm going to let you guess what the other half is. So those of you that know your dog breeds, write in and tell me what the other half is. So for right now, I'm going to set this aside, but before I do that, I want to show you one of the things I do here to figure out what's wrong with everything, and that is I reverse Xerox. I have a wonderful color Xerox machine, which I've waited my entire life to get my hands on. It's absolutely invaluable. I love having this thing. And that tells me the same thing that looking at something through a mirror would tell me, which is what's wrong with everything that I've done here. So if there's anything out of whack that isn't aligned right or symmetrical, or it'll give me some ideas that I need to incorporate into the final. I reverse Xerox it. So this is how Shazam looked yesterday. Again, this is reversed. You can see he's just a fuzzy image, barely visible. And from there, I turned them into that. And that again is the methodology that I'm using now, which is a watercolor base and color pencil over that. Now, I'm not a purist with these things. These things go back and forth with those two mediums all the time. If I can't get the look that I want with color pencil, I wash over what I've done to kind of set the stage again with kind of like a soft focus image. And then I start to pull out the lights with the color pencil. Does it always work? Is it a foolproof methodology? Not by any means. So that's why I have to go back and forth with things all the time. I think one of the things we're going to be working on in the minutes ahead is Frankenstein Jr. Now this is the way he looks now, but when I go in there and show you how I'm going to render this, I will start from this. I will start showing you the stages that I go through to get something that starts out like this and ends up like that. So hopefully you'll hang around and watch me do my thing here.
We have another question.
Oh, we have another question, so let's get it on here. Bring on the questions.
Is this going to be used for a comic book cover?
Is this going to be used for a comic book cover? No, it's not, because I already did the comic book cover that featured Birdman and some other heroes. This was something I kind of did on my own. I actually started it in 2016, which is a while ago. Boy, time flies. And I just looked at it the other day. I saw it sitting there, half finished, barely started, and I thought, it's time to finish this thing. So when I have the time to do these kind of things, I grab things that are not finished and left over from past months or even years, and I just suddenly get the inspiration to finish them. This was too much of a good thing not to go in and finish it properly. So I'm having a really good time doing that right now. Yesterday, some people were asking about my sketchbook, and the thing I was showing people yesterday was some of this pen and ink stuff that I practice on all the time. It is pen and ink the way the people at the turn of the century did back in the early 1900s is one of the hardest things I've ever done. The other hardest thing is watercolor. So I think coming up eventually we're going to be doing a live stream on seeing how well I can succeed or fail at watercolor. So look forward to that. That's going to be coming up. I think what I'm going to do right now is I have this head blocked in right now, and I'm going to take the reference that I have and finish that off in a pen and ink style that I've been working in for so long. And that pen and ink style is right here. So I'm going to boost this up a little bit right here with the help of one of my little boards. Put the reference next to it. Where is she? Where is this girl? Oh, she's right here. Okay. So this girl right here, this is the girl that I'll be showing you how I'm going to render it in pen and ink. The artist here is someone from, this is probably done in 1910, and his name is Orson Lowell. The guy was absolutely one of the top guys when it came to pen and ink. Himself, Montgomery Flagg, the I Want You guy, and Gibson, Charles Dana Gibson. Those guys with three names, I tell you. Maybe I should go with Stephen Dean Root from now on. Those are the guys that were far and away the best pen and ink guys that I've ever met. So I've got my pen and ink right here, pen and the ink. I'm going to dip it in, do my little sheet over there to get the thing worked up, and let's see if I can do this head justice here. This guy is very tonal right here. And as often as I practice this, you just cannot ever have enough practice here. This is just something that I find to be, let's just call it really challenging. And me being the slow learner that I am, this is this can be really beyond challenging sometimes. Let's see. To master something like this guy, you either are crazy or you're crazy. This guy is so good at what he does. And I can just barely even keep up with the genius of what this guy was able to accomplish with a bunch of pen strokes in black ink. But I've been working on it, so let's see how I can do here.
Someone said, "Is that a Gillette 290 pen?"
So someone said, "Is that a Gillette 290 pen?" Little Jessica that's filming this right now doesn't know that's actually called Gillette.
Gillette.
Yeah, it is. I think it is a 290 right here. You know, I buy a bunch of these online, and that's one of the wonderful things about online, because I actually ordered from some really nice lady some pen nibs that were over 100 years old, and I was so thrilled to see that and pay whatever amount she needed to be in possession of these wonderful old nibs. So yeah, I'm in fact working with a pen nib that was born long before any of us.
Someone said, "Can you speak about finding work as an illustrator/artist, the business side of art, and establishing a career?"
Oh, one of those questions. Okay. How to become an artist and how to get started in art. There's only one thing that you guys need to know about this, and that is, look, let me stop everything and really address this properly here. If you want something in life, it is up to, I know you like to think it's up to your parents, your friends, your rabbi, your guru, whoever else, your girlfriend. No. When it all comes down to it, the only person that can make anything happen, and I'm serious about this, is you. You are the only arbiter of what you can do with your life. If you think someone else is going to live your life for you and help you, well, wouldn't that be nice? But barring that, just know that you are on a mission to achieve what you want in life, and you need to get it. Because if you don't take care of your life and get what you want out of it, life is going to take care of you. Okay? So you do any means possible to get what you want to make your life worth living and be fulfilled and be as happy as you can be in this crazy world. That is what I've achieved, and so the advice I give to you is something that I've worked on since I was probably in high school, and I was determined to get what I wanted no matter what. And if you read anything about the various things that I've gone through in my life to get what I want, you'll realize that I speak from experience. So, perseverance, no matter what. Work hard. Nothing but hard work is going to get you good at what you do. And if you're not good at what you do, why would they hire you? So get good, practice. If this is fun for you to be an artist, if it's fun for you to draw, then start drawing and keep drawing. And keep drawing until you're good enough to be hired. Back to the pen and ink. Let's see how I'm doing here. Well, so far it's not bad. But we still have a ways to go here. You see the way these two lines intersect down there? I don't like the way those work. So I'm going to try to put some crosshatch in there to kind of soften the blow a little bit. Dip, and press. The closer the lines, the darker the area. Okay? I meet these people at conventions all the time, and it's really something. Sometimes you get 20 strokes, sometimes you get 2. Who knows what you're going to get here. You can never quite figure these things out. Even if these nibs are supposed to be 100 years old, it's really hard to figure them out sometimes. I'm sure nothing like this ever happens to people like you out there. Okay. It only happens to Steve Reed. Okay, so let's keep working here. Oh, now it's deciding to work. Go figure, right? Okay, so let's... how do I explain this pen and ink stuff here without sounding like I don't know what I'm talking about? Well, I kind of don't.
Someone said, after that speech, I'm off to paint. Just want to thank you for all you do.
Someone just thanked me for my little spiel about how you become an artist. And, yeah, go for it. Just go for it. You're here to get what you want out of life. You're not here to not get what you want. Who can figure the world of pen and ink out? Did Charles Dana Gibson ever go through this kind of nonsense? The darker the lines, the darker the density between the lines, the darker the form is. I'm going to dip it way in there to see if that works at all a little better. And let's see. Now the eyes, this is, there's no outlines in this stuff right here. This is, it's not like I'm drawing an eye like that, okay? It's not doing that right now. So this girl is looking up. Tricky stuff, my friends, let me tell you. And, this guy is so smart about what he does. This Orson Lowell. Let's dip it even more in there. And so this guy was also an illustrator with color, and he was not the master at that stuff at all that he is with pen and ink. See, this area right here has got to have lighter strokes to it because there is an underlighting coming up from... Now there we go. This is what I do every day of my life right here. If you work with pen and ink, there's no way to avoid this. So try not to do it like I do it and keep your hands clean. I don't think I've ever had a comic book page that I've inked that didn't I didn't get stains all over the page with my ink. Okay, let's dip it even more. See if we can avoid this silliness here. Okay, let's do some drastic measures here. And let's grab another pen point, okay? When they start doing that to me, I just tend to get rid of them. So look here. This is where I bought my Joseph Gelats pen nibs right here. 170 bronze. That means there's 170 nibs in here. I'm sure I've used up at least 12 of these so far. Come on, pen nibs. People are waiting here. You think they've got time to wait? So let's open this up right here. That's what they look like right there. That's a lot of pen nibs, you see. So let's shove it in there and try to start all over again. We'll move these to the sides so they don't spill over everywhere. These new nibs tend to cooperate a lot better. And that's kind of what we're looking for here. So, right, Nib? Isn't that true? Okay, so we have this underlighting here going on. I tell you, I just don't understand these things. It was doing so well, and now it's just fighting me. So this is the way things go sometimes with printing. This is a reality TV show, folks, and there's no do-over edits going on here. You guys try this at home and let me know how you do with it, because I think it's like the hardest thing there is. Notwithstanding the fact that the pen nibs give you all sorts of trouble like this. Is there something going on with the way I'm holding this? There shouldn't be at all. There shouldn't be any problem with this stuff. But just to make things interesting, this being live TV and all, it's just going to give me a really hard time. This is to give all you guys out there hope that you can do it better than I'm doing it here. So this guy is transcribing reality into strokes of a pen. Now that's really something when you think about it. See how the form is turning around like that with the way I'm putting these strokes on. There are so many ways to think about this philosophically, or to explain it, but you know, isn't it kind of like swimming? You know, get in the pool before you can say you know how to swim. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of theories. Theory should be backed up by action. Let's see. Now, I know I'm in for it here. So if I get my hand in this over here. Let's, this is not the way Orson Lowell had done this area right here. But, you know, a little bit of Steve Root has to go in there too, I guess. So, let's see. And then if you want to put some background tone in there, there's something about the direction of this that's really not working well here. Now, it's never really a finished piece until I put my hand in the ink, so... Let's try this direction right here. Because the other direction is what's fighting me the whole time.
Someone said, dang, I should be cooking dinner right now, but I want to keep watching Steve draw.
Absolutely. Put off dinner until the dude is done here. I mean, let's just keep our priorities straight here. Some of you are obviously in a different time zone than I am here in Arizona. If you're starting to do dinner. There are so many good pen and ink artists out there, but the ones that I admire the most are people from this bygone age right here. Oh, let's see. So we're almost done here. Oh, no, we need some very light strokes here for this one. This is a part of the light, and it's. I'm going to have to extend these strokes as lightly as I can. And there's a little bit of this halftone stuff going on here, so we have to keep that very light, okay? Someone
said, thanks for this. Been wanting to see his sketchbook work. Makes me want to go work on mine.
Oh, that's good. That's really good to hear. This guy said it makes him want to work, seeing me work, which is great. You know, I got to tell you, I meet a lot of people at shows. I've met them throughout my career. And the most impressive to me is when people have the humility to come up and say, you know, I've always wanted to be an artist. I'm in my 40s now. I have a job that pays the bills, but I'm just not happy. Well, does that sound like any of you out there? because I'm here to tell you that you are here to get what you want in life. You're not here to not get it. And if you like to do this stuff, that's 90% of it. If I didn't like to do this,
Oh, that was Martino.
I'd be raising ferrets. No, my friend Martino. Now there's a guy that I really admire. He taught in Italy at one of the schools of art over there. This guy is a very devoted artist, and he can probably teach me a few things. But he's been a comic book fan for a while now, and I've always had great admiration for him, especially the fact that he invited me over to a foreign country to sketch and see what I can do with one of the pretty Italian models that were available at the school. Martino teaches sight size, I think, something that most artists are familiar with. So look that up if you have any curiosity about that. So here's my effort, guys, with pen and ink. We're going to get back to Birdman in a second here.
Someone said, I quit my job 7 years ago and have been a freelance comic book artist ever since. Best decision I ever made. You are a real inspiration, Steve.
Okay, well, did you guys hear that? Some guy quit his job a while ago to become a full-time comic book artist. And these are the guys that decided to take charge in their life, really take charge, and stop the train that they were on that wasn't getting them where they wanted to in life, backed up things a little bit, thought about life, as in the only life you're ever going to have, and took some action. Now, that's a brave human being right there. My hat's off to those guys. And anyone. Here we go back to those weird strokes again. This direction right here is just not working. I can go this way, I can go this way, but when I go that way, it's only going to decide to work when the camera's not on it. So what else do we have going on here? Let's. I'm going to slant this a little bit right here, and I'm going to finish off her chin. I'm about to finish off this pen nib here. It's driving me nuts. So there we go, guys. That's the best I can do right there. Let's get a few more things in here, and get her looking in the right direction here. There you go. So that's how I do pen and ink when the pen cooperates. We're going to clean this area off, and we're going to get right back in the Birdman. So much for my impressive demo here. A lot of scratching and not a lot of inking. You can see that I made myself a makeshift thing right here so that the ink wouldn't tip over. I think it's time to change that cardboard. So let's take this right here and move it to the side. Not bad, Rude. We'll bring up Birdman again, and we'll get right onto something here that will show you how I'm working on this. Let's just call it an experiment of mixed media. First thing I have to do is wash this out. So follow me over to the sink. Grab your laundry. And let's clean this out a little bit. These are heavy glass bowls. And I have to, every time they get too dirty, you have to empty them. I advise glass bowls, heavy ones, because they're heavy and they're glass. I fill these things up to about a ½ inch from the top. One of my great teachers from the Calabasas School, the Art Institute, taught me how to do water in bowls. That way you have complete control over it if you need it. And that is to, I'll show you.
Someone said, It was a great demo. We all struggle, and it's nice to remember that even masters like you struggle like the rest of us. We are in this together. Artists unite.
Artists unite. Very good. Yeah, we are in it all together. And one of the things that's different about this generation of artists growing up now is the fact that people aren't afraid to share their methodology to each other. This was not common back in the 40s, where they were a little more guarded about the things that they did. As far as how they did them, there's no secrets anywhere, but people act like there is. There's a lot of little tricks. You can find out a lot of those, what they are on YouTube, as I have. It's one of my favorite pastimes, is going to YouTube and looking at other artists' work and trying to learn things from the things that they've learned. And I'm going to be doing more YouTube videos myself. I need a good editor for this stuff, so I think I might have somebody in mind that might help me out with that. But I film it, and we need to edit them so they're professional looking, and they move along at a good clip. Let's grab one of these paper towels here and get rid of what's on here right now. I do it like this. Instead of just spraying it without the paper towel on, I put a paper towel on, and the paint doesn't splatter everywhere. So this is how I do it right here. This is one of the hundreds of things that's one of the tips I can show you guys about how I do things that might make your life easier. So the fact that people share things nowadays is one of the things that's really good about the generation of artists that are growing up now. It's funny because the people that influence me, artists, illustrators from the war years, what did they have to learn from? They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have the internet. They had prints from museums, and they had museums themselves. And if they really wanted to find out how things work, they would take a trip over to the artist studio and start talking with them. So I've cleaned this off. We have this thing to wipe our stuff out on. We got some clean things. We have our sheet right here to test things out on. So I'm going to go up here to Frankenstein Jr., our cameraman. May want to get on this side right here so you can see what's going on. No, this is something interesting right here. We've got all these guys raising their arms. Oh, this is some accumulated reference that I've taken over the years. These are life studies from maybe me a couple years back when I was really in good shape. There's a Frazetta, and who else do we have in this thing? But this is something every artist uses right here. I don't know where these came from. There's a photo of some lifter. There's some real lifters. This is one of my favorite guys right here. This is Steve Reeves, who played Hercules back in the 1950s. And just a really cool guy. Really admire him. These guys are a little overblown, but you can see the patterns of light and shadow in them, especially the highlights in this case, of what these things look like. Every artist should accumulate these kind of things in life. Now we have the internet now, and that's what most people do. But back before the internet, what did we have to do? I can hear the questions right now. We went to the library, or we found a live model, and drew from them, and worked from those studies, so we would have some authority when it came to working up the final, as I'm doing right now. Okay, so let's dip into this watercolor right here. This is going to be transparent watercolor. There's going to be no white paint, which is going to make it opaque. I'm going to make sure it's the right density right here on this little sheet. And let's block in this thing. Now I'm setting the stage here for colored pencil. I like colored pencil. Well, actually I don't like it, but I'm learning to work with it. And I'm going to get this just dense enough in the dark sense so that when I go in there with colored pencil, I can bring out the lights. And this is kind of fun because it's all part of a drawing stage. So these are kind of like what the dark areas would be. I'm making them intentionally dark so that when I go in with lighter colored pencil, I can what I call carving out the form. So we're mixing up some orange here. I'm putting a little bit of burnt umber, which is nothing more than a brown. into this, and I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna tilt this a little bit so I don't drip everywhere. Oh, you see these areas right here that are supposed to be white? I taped those off so I couldn't, there, you see? That's pretty cool. Boy, I'm so clever. Yeah, just basic tape right there. So I wouldn't ruin those areas. We're working with a 3/4 inch brush, by the way. Got a question apparently, so let's see what the
not a
question
question,
is.
just a comment.
No, a
Steve
comment.
Root,
Yeah.
Steve Root had beautiful aesthetics. A lot of us illustrators are into using ourselves as well as reference.
Yeah, if you guys heard that, he says a lot of people use themselves as a reference model, so it's a good reason to keep your gym membership current. I'm looking for more female models. In Arizona, I seem to encounter people with the IQ of a flea. When it comes to finding someone who's reliable, I don't think reliability exists anywhere today, based on the hundreds of people that I've tried to find, and they've flaked out on me. So anyone who wants to model for me that's a flake, you need not apply. People that are not flakes need apply. One of the things about these colors, these HB people, these Hanna-Barbera people used way back when was they had this incredibly astute color sense. They didn't use a lot of bright colors. They used, in many cases, grayed down colors. Like this is a grayed down orange right here. And this is a slightly grayed down blue. Let's grab one of our sheets here to confirm that. These are off the TV right here. See, that's a reduced orange. That's a blue purple. Probably not full strength. This is full strength, I know. And I think the yellow was full strength too. But it's got these muted with the full strengths to give it just the right amount of proportional whatever. I try not to get too complicated on these web broadcasts here. Nobody wants to have their day more confusing than it already is. But here comes the red, and again I'm making these darker than usual, so I can carve out the light areas with colored pencil. And when that doesn't work, I go back and forth with more opaque paint. You see the way I did these wings right here? If you saw these yesterday, they were all, I don't know, kind of a mess. Do we have any versions of that here? Yeah, this is what it kind of looked like right here. The wings looked like this, kind of blotchy, and I wanted to get a base that was smoother than this right here, because this is going to take an undue amount of rendering with colored pencil to make the areas look like the way I want them to. I want these wings to look smooth, and then whatever texture I'm going to bring in here with the lights is going to be done with colored pencil. That's the theory. So remember, folks, we're always involved in theories right here. If the theories don't work, we have to start over again. There's a stream of light going through some of these guys right here. So I'll have to do with it later on. And hopefully we can do exactly that. Got a purple mouth. Why did I give him a purple mouth? Well, who knows, but dip it into paint right here. This is, again, just totally transparent watercolor. Let me see my reference on Frankenstein Jr. right here. Well, he doesn't have an open mouth, so I'll have to wing it. I tell you, these old HB workhorses, they really knew what they were doing. Okay. So this guy's got a serious underbite here. And that's exactly how we want to render him here. You can see I've got a fairly good sized brush here. I don't use these wimpy brushes like a lot of people do. If you see an artist working with a really small brush, kick them in the pants and get them to use a bigger sized brush. It's always been one of my things to see people with undersized brushes being so delicate and so careful. Please, people, give yourselves a break and buy your bigger brush. Okay, he's got that corkscrew thing going on there. So that's, how does he look here? Okay, so it's just a straight line right up there. All right. What else do I need to do here? Well, let's see. That's his little antenna things up there. I think I'm going to leave those kind of white. So the last thing I want to do, there's still a little bit of a blotchy look to that watercolor.
Someone said, I'm interested to see penciling later.
Well, good. Somebody wants to see the colored pencil going in later on. So I believe I can grant you that wish here. I believe strongly that all artists go through the same things. But you'll never know that until we start sharing instead of concealing. I don't believe in that. So these are things that I routinely show people at conventions if they're brave enough to ask me. So we've smoothed it out a little bit. Again, that's transparent watercolor. This brown paint has a lot of sediment in it. So it's a very sedimental paint. Okay, so I think I'm going to put his logo in on the red there in case it's not completely dry. We'll use a hair dryer. Now it's dry. I don't know what we did before hair dryers. I really don't, because as far as I remember, we didn't start getting them into normal use until well into the mid-'70s. Before that, I think we just had to run outside for a long time.
Someone said, very interested in your rainbows and process. Thank you. No need to be self-deprecating. Thank you for sharing. And another person said, sharing is caring, Steve, and thank you for taking your time. It would be great to spend a week with you in the studio making art and drawing comic pages. Yeah, I agree. It would be fun. It would be fun hanging out with a dude. I'm a pretty fun guy. And I'm here to teach. I'm here to learn myself. And but mostly I'm here to. This is, the way I describe it is taking the pain out of people's lives. There's so much nonsense that goes on that is unnecessary, and if there's any way that I can deplete some of that in people's lives, well, amen to Steve Rude. Okay. So that's now the rest is going to be colored pencil. We have his nose color is kind of a yellow ochre. So let's put that in there too. Remember that this is a round thing right here. It's made up of lines and tones, but I always think of them as things that are in the round. And I think it took me a long time to figure that out. But if you work at this hard enough and you think long enough, they start to become part of your, I'm not going to say wheelhouse. Everyone uses that word. Part of your bag of tricks, like Felix the cat had. Okay. Are we ready? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so, his hand. Let's get his hand in there. We're back to using our semi-big brush right here to get his hand in. Someone said, hello from Florida, hugs from Dwight and me.
Oh, good deal. Dwight hugs back to you and yours. I was in Florida not too long ago, wrestling with the alligators. So there's the hand going in there. This is a little bit on the dark side, but sometimes you got to step over to the dark side, right? How many fingers does this guy have?
Well, presumably he's got more than two. All right, we're all set here. Let's let that dry a little bit. I'm going to go into the underside here with a little more paint and get that a bit of a smooth transition. To get smooth transitions in a watercolor, you just kind of wipe it up with a brush that is dry enough to soak up the paint. See? Oh, let's give him a cast shadow right there, because we're trying to be real here, like as in get real. There, that's the best I can do with this stuff right here. Be a student, everyone. You'll be a lot happier. Mastery is an illusion. Well, I have a great quote on mastery. Let me grab my sketchbook for a second here, and I'll explain it. It came out of a book that I just read. It was quoted from a famous artist. And I believe it goes like this. Have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it. Salvador Dali. That's a good one, folks. You can't get more accurate than that. All right, let's put the watercolor away. Remember, watercolor is something I use as a base. If I'm just using color pencil the whole time, it'll take me forever. And that is, taking forever is not fun for anyone. Here's the way my box of colored pencils is arranged right here. All the blues and stuff right here. All the yellows, oranges, and reds right here in their various values. So let's, since this is drying right here, let's go into this funny tundra right here.
Someone left a quote saying, "We are all apprentices in a field where no one is master," by Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, that's good. We have some poet aficionados out there, which is great. Giving us some more quotes about perfection. I'm sure everyone who's ever tried to attain it has a quote about that stuff. Let's see. So I need to get a picture of this goofy guy here. And there he is right there, running full speed with all his... Someone I knew, no longer with us, but his name was Alex Toth. And that was a very troubled genius. I would call him a psychiatrist's dream. So I think I'm getting a cue from the camerawoman in this case, that we're running out of juice. Okay, so I tell you what, being the thrifty guy that I am, we're gonna shut the camera off for right now, and we'll charge the camera and get back to this within a half hour. So if we can meet back in a half hour, I'll look forward to seeing you back at Dude Central. So adios for right now. Take care. I'll see you in a half hour.